This message is from Andrew. I'm very interested in the field of control and automation and am trying to figure out where to start. I have taken college courses and programmed RS Logics and RS 5000 based off of real-world industrial examples. Am I ready for entry work as a PLC programmer? Should I start off as a technician building panels and work my way up by asking for cuts of ladder logic on what I'm assembling and how the process works? I had an interview at a company and I was conservative, saying I was ready to go straight into programming, but maybe I should have been more confident and gone for it. What are the steps of progression to get into this industry? I love it when I get this question because there's nothing that makes me happier than helping someone get started in our industry and hopefully helping them avoid some of the pitfalls that I ran into when I got started. So let's break this down a little bit. First, are there jobs out there for just PLC programming? In a pure sense, no. Even if you're a seasoned programmer, chances are you're going to spend 10% of your time actually programming. The rest of your time is spent planning projects, designing and building control panels, installing them, and most importantly and most often troubleshooting them. Now, do you know enough of a college course to begin programming PLCs as an entry-level programmer? That's a very great question because PLC programming classes vary so much from college to college. I would say in the bulk of the cases, no. And the main reason I say this is they teach you how to program PLCs, but they don't teach you how to troubleshoot them, which is what the bulk of what you do will be. We get calls all the time from new programmers who ace their PLC classes yet can't figure out how to connect to their PLC. It's not that they did anything wrong, it's just not what they teach you in school. But I don't believe that you need any additional schooling to enter the PLC programming world. In fact, I would say people who have had additional advanced classes have the same problem. There is no substitute for real-world experience. Even if you had classes on how to write programs based off of industrial examples, they didn't show you what happens when a limit switch gets out of adjustment, or a motor burns up, or when an operator does something that's not within the guidelines of your assignment. In fact, we're thinking about releasing a trainer that can simulate real-world breakdowns just to solve this problem. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, I do think it is important that you find an employer that realizes that you have the basic foundation, but you won't be able to program like a pro on your first project. Now, this doesn't mean going in there unconfident. In fact, that's the only thing that I would point out of your original question that you should have done differently. Always be confident and honest. We all started out just like you, and we had to go through these same steps. Make sure your potential employer knows that you're new and that you're going to need some practical experience to help sharpen your skills. Also, this is where it's important that you have your own PLC, whether it be one of our trainers or something you built on your own, so that you can practice and understand programming obstacles that you may have saw that day. Now, Andrew specifically asked, should I start off as a technician building panels and work my way up by asking for cuts of ladder logic of what I'm assembling and the process that is to perform? My answer is yes, with caution. Make sure that you are in an employment situation where they are going to nurture your curiosity. Some panel shops have too much separation between panel building and programming, so it's hard to make the jump in between them. You can get stuck with no chance of advancement in the direction that you want to go. The best way to sharpen your skill set, whether you are a beginner or an engineer with a 4-year degree, is to go work maintenance somewhere. Now, this is usually where the engineers start to glaze over because they're like, I have a 4-year degree, I'm not going to work maintenance. But let me tell you, there's nothing better than a master's degree from the College of Hard Knocks. And preferably a place that has a variety of different control systems. You know, different brands of PLCs such as Allen Bradley, Micrologix, Omron, Automation Direct. And for a few reasons. One, you'll learn different softwares that way, but also chances are they have been built by different integrators, so you can see how different integrators do things. Also, make sure it's in a place that doesn't have divisions between programming, electrical, and mechanical. Because really, once you have commissioned a machine, chances are it's not going to have a programming problem. Chances are it's going to be mechanical or electrical. To become the best in the industry, it is critical that you understand all three of these. I'll never forget early on in my career, I was working maintenance and there was a machine down and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. So I went to my maintenance supervisor and said, hey, we're going to have to get somebody in here. I can't make this run. And he said, well, there is no one else. So go back out there and figure it out. And on the surface, that sounds really cruel, and probably was at the time. But it took me about 2 more hours and then I found the problem. And what that taught me was how to look at situations from multiple angles simultaneously. And that was the day that troubleshooting machines started to come easy to me. I hope this has been helpful, Andrew, and others who are in the same situation. I'm always here to help, so if you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Till next time. Hi, this is Tim.
And this is Amber. We run the automation store.
Be sure to visit our support section for more great articles and videos.
And view our line of PLC cables and trainers, simulators, repair services, surplus inventory, charity auctions, and more.